welcome back to my channel. I have decided, well, my husband and I we're trying to save money so we can finish our basement, and so I'm back officially on a full-on no buy. So I'm going back through using, because I've bought a lot in the last, I've bought a lot in the last several months, so I'm trying to go through and use that. And I realized that there's a lot of makeup that I use as like everyday, quick go-to, easy, kind of slap something on, run out the door, and I don't ever see anyone talking about it. So I'm just gonna do a quick little slap some makeup on and get out the door because I gotta go pick up my 3-year-old. So that's what I'm gonna do. And a lot of these I really don't ever see anyone talking about. So I feel like they deserve a little bit more notoriety because I absolutely love these. The Ardell Brow Glue. I go between this one and the Got To Be in the yellow tube. They're both about the same price. This guy definitely has more hold than the Got To Be brow gel, but this one is, I've never experienced a hold like this from a brow gel. This is, I mean, you could definitely feel it. It makes your brows firm, like you have hair gel on them. I saw Manny MUA use this for the first time on one of his videos quite a while ago. That's what made me decide to use it. And he said it feels like they used their eyelash glue to hold the brows up, and he was so excited about the hold of this brow gel, so I wanted to try it. And it definitely holds it, and it's not for the faint of heart. I'll just say that, because you have to get it out, you have to scrub it out pretty well at the end of the evening, because it's still there and your brows are still sticking straight up in the air. So I'll do that first and just kind of let that kind of dry, move on to the next product I'll use. This went through a phase where it was pretty popular, but I don't really ever hear anyone talking about it anymore. And I think that's kind of the way with makeup products now on YouTube. People love them, rave about them, and then they're gone for, ever. And so it's hard to kind of use those same kind of steady products over and over again, especially if you consume a lot of YouTube and social media, because all you see is people talking about new stuff as it's being released and how it's so fantastic. And this is a good one. And I feel like, especially in terms of the color, this is, I think it's Cool Cashmere is the color I always get. Yeah, 010 Cool Cashmere. It's the Catrice True Skin High Cover Concealer, Hyaluronic. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying that. Hyaluronic Acid Waterproof Concealer. But to me, it has a good undertone that I really enjoy for my skin tone. So I'll let that kind of sit for a minute. Now, I've talked about this in other videos because I feel like it's a dupe for the new Rare Beauty blushes that are that kind of cream to powder feeling. This LA Girl On Cloud 9 Bouncy Blush and Bronzer, they only have 2 shades in this, and this is the lighter of the 2, Misty Mauve. This is so good. This goes on so easily. To me, I feel like it's blurring. I just love this product. I feel like it's so easy to put on. Like I said, it looks blurring. It blends out so effortlessly, and it looks, to me, so natural. You can't see it sitting on top of your skin. It just gives you a good natural kind of shape and contour to your face, and I love this. I legitimately have not, I've heard Andrea Montiliano talking about this. She's the only other person I've seen talk about this on YouTube, TikTok, anywhere, and it's just so good. Now, I let that kind of sit for a second to hopefully get the most out of the coverage. So once I do bronzer, I'll blend that out. But it's got, it's got decent coverage. It doesn't look too heavy on my under eyes. And It lasts really well. I have gotten to the point where I've stopped using a ton of powder to set my under eyes because I think everything just makes my under eyes look so dry and heavy because I have so much texture on my under eyes. It's dry, I've got lines, but I feel like it does well and it looks healthy and gives just a good natural kind of coverage. It's not too much, it's not too little. It gives me just what I want for a quick, I'm trying to just slap something on my face and get out the door. So I will go back to this on cloud 9 and then use the blush, and I will just tap it there and I will blend it up onto my eyelids just to kind of give a bit of that monochromatic kind of look and give my eyes a little bit of definition. But again, this blush, it blends so effortlessly onto your skin. It goes, you know, I'm using it pretty much everywhere and you don't have to worry about it. It's not too pigmented. It's so easy to build and blend. And it goes on the different kind of textures of your face really easily. My cheeks, my eyes. I wish more people talked about this because it's so good. Okay, now that's done. I'm going to set my eyelids because they will, even with this concealer, they will crease like crazy on my upper lid especially. This eye I've noticed is way more hooded than this one, and so it's like two different eye shapes, which is a lot of fun if you're trying to do winged eyeliner. But because there's so much lines on that side especially, and skin and texture and hoodedness, everything creases like crazy. So, sorry, powder. I don't typically love powders because anything that makes my skin look dry and crepey, I'm not obsessed with, but I love this e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. It's not too dry looking. It, you know, it looks healthy. It blends easily. I have a thing with, and I will just do right there and kind of just let it be. I have a thing with loose powder, any powder, honestly. I've tried using pressed powders, loose setting powders, and I feel like no matter what, any of the loose pressed, all of them, when I try and kind of set my under eyes with them, it all takes away the coverage on my under eyes. I don't know why. I don't see other people having that problem, but for whatever reason, it does that. And I've noticed if I just kind of do right in here where I have more of the lines and texture just right there, it's not as dry and crepey looking, so I can make that work. Now, I'm gonna do highlighter. I feel like I'm one of the few people who still loves a highlighter. This one, I don't really ever see people talking about. I saw Allie Glines talking about this and bought it a couple of years ago, but it's still a, you know, it's still a really nice highlighter. It's not too glowy. It does have some shimmer to it, so you can see that in direct sunlight, but it's the LA Girl. It's just called highlighter, and it's in Sun-Kissed Glow, but it's, you know, just a really pretty natural, healthy looking glow. And this is, I think, kind of more in line with what's super popular right now. So I'll do a little, we'll just kind of, you know, a nice healthy glow. It's one of those that I don't ever see people talking about, but it reminds me a lot of the Essence, what's that Essence one? I'm obsessed with that one also. The more natural Essence highlighter that was super popular. It still is popular. And I'll honestly use that one more of like a setting powder than well, I'll use it for both, but I feel like it does a great job setting blush. All right, now setting powder. I know this was popular for a while, and I have my feelings about Morphe. I don't necessarily love them. I have really enjoyed them in the last couple months. Again, I've started using some more of their products again, and I've enjoyed them a lot. But this setting powder, probably my favorite setting powder to exist. This mist, I mean, it's a constant stream, a constant spray, but it is so fine. It smells so good. I look forward to using it. And because the mist is so fine, it doesn't make your face, well, I sprayed a ton, but it doesn't make your face look super wet. You don't feel drenched when you use it. And so it's just, I love it. It makes sure, I don't know that it does a whole lot in terms of staying power. It makes everything just melt into your skin and look natural and beautiful. Okay, so eyebrows. I'm gonna go back to eyebrows now because I do things in just a fun little order. I was obsessed for a little while. I got back on an eyebrow pencil, and then I am now back on the eyebrow marker pen. What do you call this? Brow tint pen. It's the NYX Lift and Snatch. I got back on it because I was just trying to get out the door in a hurry one day to go get my kids, and it was so quick and easy. So ever since then, I've been back to using it again. I feel like I hear a lot of people like during Q&As that I'll see from influencers and YouTubers when they're recommending drugstore makeup to people. You know, they'll have the Q&As where they'll say, give me all of your drugstore favorites, and I'll pick some that I haven't tried before. And I always see people recommending this, and a lot of times I feel like I never see actual people that are filming videos using it and say, oh, I've never tried this before. And to me, it's so quick and easy. The color they have a ton of, NYX has a great range for their shades, but it goes on really easily, and it's not too pigmented, because I've tried other ones before where the pigment is really intense and it's really hard to make that look natural. And I think this one is it's not too pigmented, just enough pigment that it's lovely. So I'm back on this one again, and I've been enjoying it a lot. Now let's do, okay. Oh no, where's my eyeliner? Oh, it's right here. Went under my computer. Now, I'm so bad at winged liner. My current obsession right now is trying to figure out how to do that kind of smoky, natural looking kohl liner look. I can't ever get it to look natural, and I feel like when I do it, it ends up going halfway out, and it looks ridiculous. I don't love it on me. I can't get a good technique, and I feel like I'll see people do it, and it's just a quick little swipe, and it looks fantastic on them, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I think people aren't obsessed with traditional liquid liners anymore because they say it's too stark, but I still like it. But I'm also not great at it, so I still do it. Doesn't look great, but I love it. And the best one I've ever used is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Skinny Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. It's a brush tip. I don't love felt tip eyeliners, liquid liners, but this guy is teeny tiny. It's so easy to get, if you were a professional, I feel like this thing would be a breeze, but to me, I think it makes it easier for someone like me who is not good at winged eyeliner, especially a liquid liner. It makes it a lot easier to do. So I always go back to this one. It doesn't run, it stays on, it's matte, it's fantastic. So I'm gonna try putting this on. There's no telling how this is gonna go because it's always kind of a toss-up whether or not it's gonna look, you know, it's always cockeyed pointing in different directions, but we're just gonna try this. And again, because I have hooded eyelids, it does the like bat wing when I do it. And so here's the tricky part, getting this side to point the same way as this side. It's been worse. But the hard part for me too is that because this eye is more hooded, that skin is crazy trying to get eyeliner on it. So that's as good as it's gonna get. For waterline eyeliner, this Essence Stay and Play, I always use a nude. There's someone out in our front yard and I don't know who it is. So I always use a nude eyeliner on my lower waterline because I have not slept in a decade because of my children. So I need anything and everything to make me look more awake. This will be on my waterline when I go to shower at night. So in terms of mascara, I have 3. I always talk about this Essence Lash Princess. It's $5. It gives so much length, so much volume. It's fantastic. I'm a big mascara layerer. Use a ton of coats of one and then go back in and use another one. And so what I have been doing lately is using, so I love this one, but I also love this Morphe Make It Big mascara. This thing, it's, to me, this is very much, it feels very high-end. It's a weighted kind of tube and it's the kind of black packaging. It just looks really nice and feels nice. And it feels heavier than just a regular conventional plastic tube. So this one's nice and it's got a brush wand. It's a brush. It's not the like spiky ones, the plastic. It's the more kind of conventional natural fiber brush, and then it's in that kind of hourglass shape similar to the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, but it's not as thick. This is more of a wet formula, and to me I think that works for it. I feel like I'm one of the few that loves a kind of more wet formula, but I feel like it builds really well, but it gives a ton of length and a ton of volume, and it gives, again, I love a thick spidery lash, and it gives that very easily. And I'll usually combine it with the ColourPop Level Up mascara. This stuff is fantastic. I did not realize that they had such a volumizing mascara. So it just says lengthening. It gives a ton of volume as well. So I'll usually use these two together, and I'll do that in just a second. I'm gonna first highlight my inner corner. I never hear anyone talking about this. Granted, this is a very niche kind of obsession. I bought this highlighter. It's the Juvia's Place, the Tribe Volume 3 highlighter. It's intense even for me, but it, you know, I don't love that on my cheek. It's very intense, probably more intense. Well, it's way more intense than I want on my cheek. Now I'll use this, but I love this to highlight my inner corner. This is literally the best inner corner highlight ever. And I'll use this, I've been using this kind of smaller brush to do it and get kind of really in there and be precise with my placement, because like, you know, I'll see people put highlight in their inner corners and you don't ever see the texture, but like you can see I have a lot of texture in there. So that's that. Now I'll use a bazillion coats of this mascara. And I mean, you can see it just instantly volumizes and lengthens. All right, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna let it sit for a second, and then I'll start another coat. So I'm gonna do lips. Now, I am someone that has struggled to find the kind of perfect, everything looks super warm on me. Any kind of lip liner, anything just ends up looking either brown or orange, and not in a good orange way. Orange on me just looks, it just doesn't complement my skin tone at all. So I will use, I found this color. It's the NYX Line Loud lip liners. I've used the snot out of this one. And this color is called Fierce Flirt. It's the kind of pinky gray beigey color of my dreams. And it does not pull super warm, and it lasts really well. Just try to blur that a bit. It lasts really well. It does kind of dry. It dries really quickly when you put it on. So you got to put it on and kind of blend it how you want to get it where you want it. And then I like to put a lip gloss on top of it. This one was once clear. It's now been used so many times with this lip gloss that it's now this lovely murky shade of kind of pinky purple, like a little lip liner. But it is the Milani Highly Rated Diamond lip gloss. It's pretty much empty. I need to get another one. You don't normally have to dip it as many times as I just did, but it gives you that kind of, it's a lovely glossy formula. It's sticky. You can feel it on your lips, but it lasts pretty well. And I really don't ever hear anyone talking about that. So I'm gonna go back in another coat of this Morphe mascara. Try and build on what I already put on. The spiderier and thicker the better. All right. Now I'll go in just to top it off with this ColourPop Level Up Lengthening Mascara. It has, again, another kind of natural bristle. I think that's, yeah, natural bristle wand. And it's that kind of tapered. It's not as tapered as the Lash Paradise, or it's not as thin. It has a wider base than the Lash Paradise. But it's a good one. Neither of these are as cheap as the Lash Paradise, but you can get both of them. They're, you know, they're less than, I think they're about $12. I usually get them at Target, and I have a Red card, so you get 5% off of it. So it's not anything crazy, honestly. And they last really well. They don't dry out fast. This ColourPop one is not as watery of a formula. It's a little drier than the Morphe. So this is where the length, you really start to see it kind of build. Okay. That is the final look. Normally, so depending on the eyeliner, how quickly that goes on, this normally takes me like less than 10 minutes to do again, and also depending on how many coats of mascara I decide to put on. Sometimes it takes me as long to do mascara as it does everything else, but this is just a quick in and out, slap something on your face, easy to use makeup. It's all of it. This is all drugstore. It's all affordable and it's all fantastic, and I never hear anyone talking about the majority of these items. So I'd love to know what some of your super repurchased makeup that you love, that you don't ever hear anyone talking about. I'd love to hear other kind of hidden gems that I am not familiar with, because they're, you know, just because it's new doesn't always mean it's fantastic. So I'm on a no buy. I'm not gonna be buying anything for a little while, but I'd love to know what they are so I can put it on my list, so when I'm buying stuff again I can go purchase. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate any time you spend watching my videos. I love making them. Yeah, give me any feedback. Let me know what you want to see from me in the future, and I'll be back. Bye. Thanks.